woke up and chose panda. So we've got a black smoky eye and my eyes look crazy against a black smoky eye and then this blue top. Also, if you see my bra, ignore that. We're just gonna ignore everything about me today. Hey, I thought I would do another author edition. I haven't done one in a while. The last one I did was Penelope Douglas. I did that a while back. And today I decided to do Carian Cole because you know what? Carian, I love you. I love your books. I've read majority of them. There's only a handful that I haven't. I've got them all in paperback form because they're absolutely beautiful. They are beautiful in person, babe. They really are. And I've never read a book from Carian that I have not enjoyed. There's a few reasons why I love Carian's books. One, they're usually on like the taboo side, right? And I love a bit of a taboo steamy read. Two, they're usually really emotional. And three, the writing. Like her writing is just so easy to read, so easy to just like devour. But the one thing about her taboo romances, because she does write a lot of taboo age gap relationships, she does it in such a perfect way, like a classy way. Sometimes people try to write taboo books and they try to write age gaps and they come off low-key fucking gross. Low-key foul. Really icky. But Carian does it in such a classy way, man, and she makes you believe in these characters. She makes you believe in their love, and you can understand why they fall in love and why these relationships may come about in the fictional world and in real life. She also has a bit of an aesthetic with her heroes that she writes. They're usually like a little bit grungy. I love the grunge, bitch. I love the grunge. A bit rock star-esque. And they're usually like bad boys, but with really beautiful big hearts. So I'm gonna go through my favorites today and tell you guys why they're my favorites. Also talk about some of the books that I haven't read, some of her up and coming releases, and I'm just gonna give Carian a moment because she deserves it the most. And yeah, I love shining light on authors that I personally think that are underrated and people don't talk about as much. Carian's one of them. She writes some top tier romances, baby. Honestly, she really does. So I'm excited for this video. I hope you guys enjoy the do, me, and what's to come. Let's get into the video. Also, when you go into Carian's books, I just want you guys to know that even though they're different stories, a lot of them are standalones, their worlds kind of intertwine, especially when it comes to her rockstar romances. I'm going to start with one of her taboo books that I read a while ago, and this was one of the first like taboo type of books that I have read, and it made me fall in love with her writing. So this is Torn. Oh my god, I love this book. If you're looking for a good taboo read, this is where it's at. So it's about this girl who is quite young. From my memory, she's around 18. She was raised in a very unique environment. Her parents are actually rock stars. So she kind of had this childhood where she was raised on the road while they were touring. Her parents were 15 when she was born. She was raised by parents that grew up with her, if that makes sense. She has a very close relationship with a lot of the band members and a lot of her parents' friends, but she specifically has a very close bond with her father's best friend. He kind of like lived with them as she was a child, grew up with her also, and like watched her grow and develop into the young lady that she is now. And you know, when she was a child and even in her early teens, there was never any like chemistry or connection that could develop into a romantic relationship. Absolutely not. It was strictly like uncle-niece type of relationship. Yes, we're getting taboo. As she ages and becomes like an adult and a older teen, she starts like, I don't know, developing feelings for him and starts becoming sexually attracted to him, and he is the same. I've said this before on my channel, I'll say it again. Love can be found in the darkest corners of our world, okay? And love can develop in the most unique and strange situations, and yeah, I'm not a person to judge, especially when it comes to the fictional fucking world, let me tell you. I love this shit. So yeah, their relationship kind of develops and she falls for him and he falls for her. Then after Torn, you have Tide, which I actually haven't read yet. But Tide is about the brother that is mentioned in Torn. So this is like an interconnected world, okay? So this isn't like a part 2 or like a book 2 to the first relationship. This is a separate relationship, like a companion novel series. So then you have the Ashes and Embers series, which is incredible. Now, I'm not someone that is into rock star romances because I think they can be done really poorly and they can be super fucking cringeworthy. Like, low-key embarrassing, honestly. But again, Carian hit the nail on the head, baby. She handled this trope so fucking well. So this is a companion novel series. There is tons of books in it. And each book is about each member of the band. Now, Torn ties into this because obviously the main heroine in that book, her father is a part of this band. The first book we've got is Storm, which I love this book. Storm is such a sexy rock star. Stop it. He reminded me of Slash from Guns N' Roses. Now, a little bit of an inside scoop about me. I love 80s, 90s rock. It was what I was raised on. And I feel a little bit 80s today with this electric blue color. Anyway, and I was raised on like Guns N' Roses. Okay, that's my dad's favorite band. Last time they came to Australia, I went and saw them, even though they're old boys now. And I crushed hard on like Axl Rose and Slash when I was a kid. Like, hard. The band was split up by that time, but my dad used to like play their music all the time and play like old videos, like tape recordings and stuff of like them and their music videos and stuff, and I crushed hard, baby. So when I read this, I was like, oh my god, I'm living my like childhood rock star romance life, and I loved every minute of it. Storm is about this girl who's on the way to something, a work function, a work something, seminar, something like that, and she's driving through like the snow. She ends up running her car off the road, and this guy pulls up and like helps her, and it's obviously Storm, and she starts freaking the fuck out thinking she's gonna get raped or killed or something, because he kind of looks like, you know, he's tattooed, he's got long hair, he's got like a top hat on, and he's got like coal liner rimmed around his eyes. If I was in the middle of the snow in the mountains and I drove off the fucking cliff side and a motherfucker like that appeared, I'd be like, excuse me, bitch, I am not ready to die today. I am not ready to die today. So she was like freaking out, and he was like, calm down, like I'm just here to help you. So he ends up stuck there as well, and they have to spend the night in the car together. And obviously because they're in the snow, it's cold, they have to use their body heat to like warm each other up. There's no reception, they're stranded. So even the first night they're like in the snow together, bitch, they have to get cozy, okay? And you know what that means when they have to get cozy? When two strangers have to come together and use each other's bodies for warmth? Stop it. I loved this so much. Honestly, when I read Storm, I was like, I've been sleeping on this fucking series. People have told me to read it, and I haven't listened, and now that I'm reading it, like, what the fuck, it's so good. Next up we have Vandal. So again, this is about a member of the band, and Vandal recently lost his daughter, okay? He's lost his daughter, and he's not coping. When this situation occurred, someone else lost their life as well. I don't want to say stalking, but he ends up finding this woman whose husband passed away because of this incident, and he like reaches out to her and offers to help her grieve. Yeah. There's also like a twist with BDSM with this book. It's definitely one of the darkest books in the Ashes and Embers series. It's not my favorite out of all of them, but it's definitely good. Like, it's good, and I know a lot of people will love this, especially if you like BDSM darker romances. This is where it is at. There's also a novella called Loving Storm, and this is a continuation of Storm's book and that couple. Then we have Lukas, which Lukas is one of the books I haven't read. I haven't got around to reading it yet, but this is a relationship between an older woman and a younger man, and that's usually not my go-to trope, so that's why I've left this last. But I'm excited to read it when I get around to it. Then we have Talon, which is my favorite book out of this entire series. I'm a sucker for arranged marriage or like marriage of convenience tropes and storylines, and this one was so unique and different. I've spoken about it already on my channel, but this one specifically, like top tier, baby. Honestly, so fucking good. Obviously, it's about Talon, who is in this rock band. His mother is actually a romance author, and she has collaborated with a bunch of psychologists and like researchers to create a kind of marriage experiment. So it's this experiment that you apply to become a part of. You obviously submit your details, like your family history, who you are, what you do for a living, what type of person you are, what are your dating preferences, and then these psychologists and like scientists, I guess, come together. They go through all of the data and pair up couples together. If you've applied for this experiment, then you get married to these people. As I said, Talon's mum is very involved. Talon is a, you know, he's a player, baby, and he flies through puss, okay? He sleeps with every groupie under the sun. But the thing is, he's over it. He wants to settle down and have a family and have a life and find love. But he's finding it really hard to find that within groupies because they all are with him for his fame and for money. So they're not authentic. The women that he's sleeping with, they're not there for the right reasons, and their relationships aren't authentic with him. This woman is kind of in the same situation. She's looking for love and she's looking for a partnership. She doesn't come from a lot of money and she's trying to date, but she's not finding anyone that is open to her, who is attracted to her, and everyone she's coming across is quite mean to her. So she sees this like experiment advertised and she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Their preferences for what they want in a partner are the polar opposite, man. Like, she wants someone that's clean cut, got a business, wants to settle down and have a family. He wants someone that is like confident, skinny, blonde, big boobed, long legged, and like what he usually finds attractive. So when they get paired together, they're like, what the fuck? Like, Talon is covered in tattoos and is a long haired rock star and comes from like a famous family, man. And they do not like each other. So it's an enemies to lovers situation, and it is so good, man. Because there's so much conflict between the two of them. They want this marriage to work, but they are just not attracted to each other. 5-star read, baby. If I could give this 10 stars, bitch, I fucking would. Then we have Asher. So this is one of my favorites as well. I recently read this, and if you like Torn, you will love this book because this is about the main heroine's father and mother. So Asher is the head of this rock band, and he has been with his partner, his wife, since he was 15 years old. They are so in love with one another. It is out of this world, something so unique, something that we probably won't experience in our lifetime, and I think is quite rare. An accident happens and his wife suffers from amnesia, and she wakes up and she has no memory of her family, of her life, or the love that she has for him. So he has to like start from scratch with her. It was so emotional, man, like to the point where I was like blabbering at some points. And Carian had told me that this is based off, not the whole story, she drew inspiration from a real life event. So some of this stuff in this book actually happened, and that's what made it even more like heartfelt and like touching, because some of this actually was true. But yeah, this is an emotional tear-jerker, baby. This will get you in your feels 100%. Oh my god, I love this book, baby. I love this so much. So this is Don't Kiss the Bride by Carian, obviously, and this is a Married to Convenience. I've spoken about this book so much. This is one of my favorite reads of this year, like one of my top. If I could tell you my top 5, this would be in it. So this is an age gap. It's quite a big age gap, but this is one of the best age gap stories I've ever read. It's so well written. The relationship is so well written. It's not disgusting at all. You honestly believe in this love story. You understand why this love story came to, and how these people, these strangers that are so far apart in age, fell in love. So it's about this girl who's 18, she's at school, she's still in high school, she comes from a really poor family life, her mother is on a next level, she's, you know, going through it, and she's struggling really hard at home, and this guy who works at a construction site across from her school comes over one day to help her when her car breaks down. They end up forming this relationship where like every time she's in trouble, he is there to help her. Or if she needs help, she'll reach out to him and he's there within a second. He starts picking up on her lifestyle and he's just like, this is fucked. You're an 18-year-old girl, like young woman, getting ready for college, like you need a stable lifestyle. So he offers to marry her to give her that. And she agrees. So they end up getting married and it's strictly like about getting her on her feet. He wants to give her free healthcare, a roof over her head. They have separate bedrooms. He just wants to financially help her because he cares about her. Yeah, they just form this beautiful, beautiful friendship. But after they get married and move in with one another, clearly feelings start developing and it's a real like push and pull with them because he doesn't want to admit that he has feelings. She is admitting that she has feelings and is upset because he's not doing anything about it. And oh my god, I loved it so much. Next up we have No Tomorrow, which is one of my hands down favorite books I've ever read. This is one of the most emotional books I've ever read in my entire life. Like this is brilliant. Like I loved this so much. I cannot stress it enough. If you're going to pick one book out of all of these, No Tomorrow, baby. No Tomorrow. So No Tomorrow is about Blue and Piper. First off, I remember their fucking names because they're instilled in my fucking brain forever. I will never forget this couple. Blue is a homeless musician. Piper is a young, early 20-year-old who's just kind of like, you know, a normal chick. She's just living her life. And she stumbles across Blue playing in the park across from where she works, where she has lunch every day, and he's playing his guitar. There is like chemistry, tension, and just a connection instantly off the bat, baby. There's no doubting it. They're meant to fucking be together. And they fall madly in love. Like crazy ass love. Like intense love. And he breaks her heart. I'm not telling you anything else because this book has so much shit going on in it. Everything that could break your heart happens in this book. Everything that could go wrong goes wrong in this book. Some of the topics in this book are deep issues that you would probably be able to relate to. I know I can, and I felt it on such a deeper level. Like when I finished this book, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was sitting outside in front of my house. This was back when I was smoking cigarettes, and I was just like cigarette after cigarette after cigarette, just sitting there in my feels. Like, what the fuck did I just read, man? Like I was so, like I was staring at the stars, just like, wow. That was an intense book. Blue and Piper's relationship I will remember for the rest of my fucking life because it is honestly insane. Now, I don't have it written down and I don't have my phone in front of me, but I'll leave the image here. Carian's currently writing like another book to go with the No Tomorrow first book, and this is about one of the characters that you meet in No Tomorrow. So I'm so stoked about this book. The cover is stunning too. I'm so ready for this book to come out. I know she's gonna kill it. I know it's gonna be brilliant. I know it's gonna be everything and more. Also with No Tomorrow, and the Ashes and Embers series, they collide. Like they cross over at times, which is really, really fucking cool. I hope you really did enjoy this video. If you haven't read any of these, or you've only read a few and not all, please devour her, okay? Please show her love on social media. I can promise you right now, you will not be disappointed, okay? So if you enjoyed this video, this author edition of Carian Cole, thumbs up this video. It helps me out so much. Follow me on all my social media platforms. My merch is down below. Don't leave without subscribing, hun, because it's fucking rude. And I don't like it. Subscribe and become a part of the fam bam, alright? It's fun over here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.